What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. I am your host, Justin Harold, and today I'm going to give you guys a little solo dolo video for the Cavs. Going to be unavailable tomorrow, and the boys will be recording, giving you guys a little bit of a preview for the 4 games that we have coming up. But also, we'll probably be talking about some things that have happened in the past week. But to get us started, 13 and 12. 13 and 12 was the record of the Cavaliers before Darius Garland was announced with a fractured jaw, and Evan Mobley was announced with a surgery to his knee to clean up some damage, thus putting out those two for an extended period of time for multiple weeks. And thus, you leave 20.7 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game from Darius Garland, and 16 points per game, 7.8 rebound or 10.5 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists from Evan Mobley. You leave all that behind, and thus you now sit at 14 and 12 after winning the game against the Atlanta Falcons last night, with what was the new look Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, obviously leading the way with help from Jared Allen and others, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, Max Strus, a lot of other guys, Caris LeVert stepping up in this particular game. But, let's get into it. Let's talk about what this really means for the Cavs moving forward. Obviously, 14 and 12 has them at a winning record right now. But with those two injuries, obviously you lose your main facilitator of the ball with Darius Garland, and easily one of the best defensive players in the league with Evan Mobley, thus taking an offensive step backwards and a defensive step backwards. But what's the good that can come out of this? What is the good that can come out of two of your star players, franchise players going down? Well, a lot of the turmoil that was going on with the Cavs is now a little bit more subsided. A lot of things that were going wrong for the Cavs now can take a back burner. Obviously, there were offensive lows, defensive lows with the roster a little bit more healthy with those two in the lineup and whatnot. But in terms of what this means moving forward, guys get development time. Guys like Isaac Okoro get to step up. Dean Wade get to step up, earn their spots on this roster in the future, define their roles in this team and for the future, and let guys like Craig Porter Jr., who has been playing well as a rookie, continue to get time, develop, and contribute and make their own role on this team. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how JB is handled moving forward. A lot of talk before these injuries happened were on JB. Is he going to make it? Is he the guy? Now, is this going to be a little bit of a he gets leeway with these injuries, or could it be a sneaky little thing where these injuries are just a scapegoat for the Cavs to get rid of JB if things are to go in the wrong direction and things start looking bad? Now, I don't want that to happen. None of us want that to happen, but these injuries do happen. The team is a little shorthanded as of right now. So, in all cases, could this be a scenario where JB loses his job in this streamlined games where Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are out heading into the winter and heading into what will probably be the trade deadline by the seams of these injuries? I could be wrong, but that is the time when coaches get fired, guys get brought into place to finish out the season, guys get traded, guys get moved. It's a lot going on in the, hectic part of the season. And a lot of it is all dependent on coaching. I think that JB really needs to define his lineups and really needs to define who are the guys getting minutes in this crunch time. Obviously, he's made a guy like Sam Merrill, who even I have had my gripes about, into an effective player so far. Obviously, he's a part of that win last night against the Hawks. And so for that to be the case, I think that a lot is going to need to happen in order for these Cavs to stay afloat, stay above 500, because I think if you can stay above 500 without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, that keeps you at least in the playoff contention, probably the lower part of the playoff contention. But nonetheless in contention, in a place to fight for the rest of the season after the All-Star break, after the trade deadline, for a higher playoff spot and whatnot. And I think just to finish up here, my biggest thing here is that Darius Garland was having probably close to as poor of a season as his rookie season. Now, I know the numbers aren't nearly as close as what they were back then, but in terms of his efficiency, turning the ball over, just how he's kind of going about his game right now, I think having this injury and having this time off will be a nice little reset for him in terms of figuring out what works well for him, what hasn't really worked well for him this season. Hopefully, he'll be reviewing tape. Hopefully, the team will be reviewing tape during this time, seeing what was working when Darius was on the court with them. And that same thing goes for Evan. But I think Darius has a little bit more of the offense go through him. Thus, I think there needs to be a lot that goes on during this time away from him to figure out what makes this offense work, what makes it drive, what makes the team better as a whole. And when he comes back, how do they facilitate that at a higher level? So, not all doom and gloom with these injuries, of course. Obviously, they are a setback, but this is the NBA. These guys are all very talented. I think the roster does have potential. JP talked about how there were 9 to 11 guys he wanted to play. Now is really going to be the time to see if he did have 9 to 11 guys that are capable of providing big time minutes and, hopefully big time presence in these last, or not these last couple of games, but in these games without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. So, with that all being said, and of course, last point, Donovan Mitchell going to have to prove his commitment to the Cavs and to this team in terms of just being the leader, being the guy who can carry us through these injuries and whatnot. I think he's going to have to step up big time. I think he will. But that all being said, what do you guys think is going to be the case with these injuries? Are the Cavs going to take a downswing? Are they going to be able to stay afloat? Maybe they'll excel during this time. Maybe they'll figure out how to run the offense a little bit better. Maybe JB will figure himself out in terms of rotations, offense, defense, and whatnot. But that all being said, please leave us your comments. Then make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, hitting the bell notification. My boys Logan and Jeff will be on here either later this week for the normal Cavs Encapsulated, but I will not be there. I will be sending in my previews for those games and whatnot. But with that all being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.